Hello fellow humans and welcome to the tech tree review of the Leopard 1. Now get your ball cream ready because by the time this video is over, you're going to be a real man. So let's have a look. Obviously the tech tree itself is split into two pieces, so you have different choices that you can make here. And we're going to have to look where to go here. So first of all, let's have a look at the stats of all these vehicles. Let's compare whichever tree here is the better one to go to the Leopard 1. It's already included the 3001D. It's already included the VK3001D in the E50M video, so check that out if you want to see that one. So this time we're going to focus on the ones that I haven't covered yet and go all the way up to the Leopard 1. Now, there isn't much to look at in terms of armor because especially the higher tier ones have none. Now, I would recommend you to go for the VK128, the SP1C, and the IOTF1. Why is that? The Indien-Panzer has some relatively decent armor. It's not a good tank though, so it isn't really a great preparation for the higher tiers, and the linearity of the whole line is a bit broken by the Indien-Panzer playing differently because it has more armor than, for example, the IOTF1 and the Leopard PTA, where those are a bit more in line. So I would recommend going for the VK28, SP1C, and then the one to complete this line. Because if you play bad in the SP1C or the IOTF1, you're not going to play well in the Leopard 1. That is also a very important point of this line. This is the experts line only. If you are a beginner, then I do encourage you to keep watching, and also don't forget to like and subscribe. However, I do not think that this is a line that you should get if you are a beginner of this game, and also if you're sort of semi-experienced, I wouldn't go for it either, because this line is very difficult to play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the VK30 and the Indien-Panzer later as well. That's why it's going to be a pretty long one. However, I do not recommend going that line. Obviously, we start off with the VK28, which is still a nice little tank, goes 65 kilometers an hour. It does actually have some form of okay-ish armor if you get lucky bounces off the sides. However, obviously, this line is for experts only. No armor here, which means you're not allowed to make any mistakes. Any mistake that you make is going to be punished more severely on some than others. Now, the SP1C is a bit of a weird one. It does have a two-shot autoloader, the only one on this tree here. It's a really weird gun. I'm not a big fan of the golf cart here. 2000 DPM, 225 alpha. That's okay. You have decent, okay-ish heat as well on this vehicle. It is not great. It does have 10 degrees of gun depression though. The mobility could certainly be better. However, you have massive effective horsepower per ton here in terms of the hard terrain, and then a very weak one in terms of the soft terrain. This is hard, medium, and soft as far as I'm aware. So yeah, top speed not that great. Then look at the VK31. I don't know, not a big fan compared to the SP1C. Now I do think the VK is a bit better than the SP1C. However, obviously it doesn't fit into the line as well, and the SP1C is doing better. So it's a fun little tank, but obviously no one plays the VK. There's that, and you shouldn't either. Ignore this thing. So there is no point there. Then SP1C versus Indien-Panzer. SP1C clearly, the Panzer clearly, Panzer. Clearly wins the DPM fight here. Loses out in penetration though by almost 30 millimeters. However, the heat is somewhat on par with the Indien-Panzer's APCR. Now, obviously, in a tank like this, you want to play from the sides, so the penetration isn't that going to be that big of a problem. You have HEP rounds on this vehicle, high explosive plastic, which are going to give you 102 millimeters of penetration, which is another very nice feature of the vehicle. So that is another bonus. Now, obviously, 10 degrees of gun depression on both of them. The Indien-Panzer's gun is slightly more accurate. However, the IOTF1 has better dispersion on the move and has 80 kilometers an hour top speed, which is, I believe, the fastest that you can go in the game. 34 effective powder weight ratio here. On the terrain. Obviously, this one's basically irrelevant. This one doesn't matter. These are the ones they have to look for. But as you can see, it is massively fast at the Indien-Panzer. Turns faster as well. And it also performs a lot better, as you can see here. Obviously, these aren't perfect, these stats here. However, they do indicate a general trend of the vehicle that is very, very much apparent here. The IOTF1 is the better choice, and it's definitely the one to go for. Then, Leopard PTA, which is a bit of a weird one. The stand-up B is clearly a better vehicle. However, it can work very well, and you have a very big step up in DPM here from the Indien-Panzer. That's why I do recommend the IOTF1. You got 255 pen, which is excellent for this vehicle. 350 alpha damage, also very good. 105 millimeter gun, obviously. And then you have somewhat okay-ish accuracy and dispersion. Only 6 degrees of gun depression, though. That is the biggest downside of this vehicle. It only has 6 degrees of gun depression, and obviously no armor whatsoever at that point. And the mobility is very, very solid. Obviously, it's red here because you compare it to the very, very fast VK28. But overall, it is, if you know what you're doing, is a relatively solid medium tank. However, it is more on the average side rather than good. And then we go to the Leopard 1, which is, I think, one of the Tier 10 tanks that you can extract the most performance out of if you have the ability to do so. Obviously, in itself, it is very hard to play because of the complete lack of armor besides some funky auto bounces on the gun mantlet, which you shouldn't rely on at all. Then they do have an insane amount of DPM. Still have 3,400 with calibrated, so I do think calibrated will be the choice here for this vehicle. And obviously, for all the others, you do use the vertical stabilizer, the enhanced hit points, the gun laying drive. Obviously, is always going to be used. Yeah, the repair kit as always. Normal. Here, I would also recommend going for the calibrated. So, I was covered. Got very fast Leopard 1 here. It's faster than a T100 LT, by the way. Has a better gun than T100 LT. So, I don't know, T100 LT players. How is your tank OP? Well, it's flat. People can't aim. That's how that tank gets his strength. But Leopard is quite big, so that is his massive downside of this vehicle. The gun is absolutely amazing. The mobility is insane. Especially also, look at this traverse speed. It is an amazing vehicle, besides, obviously, the almost complete lack of armor. However, we are going to start at the bottom and work our way up, and what you should also go to the bottom to is the video, because there in the description there is links to my Discord server, my second YouTube channel where I post videos on other games, and also my Twitch channel where I do stream other games as well. So check that out, would really appreciate some feedback on there. Now, let's have a look at the VK28. Now, this is a very chunky boy, and it's also very fast, which is very nice. So, it's also very nice for mad games, just as a side thing there. Now, ideally, what you want to do with this thing is you want to just run around and shoot people, because that's what it's for. You don't have HE on this field. If you had HE, it wouldn't be any useful anyway, so you're not missing much out there. Because obviously it's a very small caliber gun, 160 alpha damage. I think, however, is enough. Not great, but it is definitely enough for this type of tank. And there's the pseudo armor I was talking about earlier, with the relatively well protected tracks, and there's some of the angles on this vehicle that you can bounce off of. Obviously, don't rely on it though. Definitely wouldn't recommend trying to fight around the armor of this vehicle because it doesn't have any. So, gonna have a look here. Gonna have to outrun the SU. Gonna pump some more shots into him. He's gonna be reloading. We'll also have to watch out for the enemy VK28, which is going to peek there. Now, the turret is relatively small on this vehicle, so if you can hide the hull, you have a somewhat decent chance of the enemy hitting the mantlet. And if they have low penetration, they won't be able to penetrate that, so that is definitely a bonus of this little thingy. So, overall, I think it is a very, very nice little tank. It definitely deserves some love. And, well, it's very nice. I don't know what else to say. It's a tier 6. You're not going to spend that much time with it, so enjoy it. It's a very lovely little tank. It definitely worth having a look at. Now, I'm going to, unfortunately, have to be the sad little man that has to decap. We'll see if we can do this, but nope. No one else is going to decap. That is this one out of the way. Probably. Never mind. Got it. We got the decap. Somehow. Now the SU-100 is going to be a problem. The VK might push me, so that's going to be somewhat interesting. Have a look. There we go. He's now one shot. So, gonna stop. That's not good. Oh, there you go. There you go. Told you. Told you about the funky angles. There they are. Okay, KV-1S football. Gonna get pushed by that guy now. Try to play around the rock here now. Would be somewhat very nice. Obviously the MT. Oh, he missed. That's good. There we go. I will be able to get 2 shots here because the KV-1S's reload is very long. I'll get another shot and then I will be able to get out of here. There we go. Got even another one. 1.8k damage so far. That is pretty solid. Okay, he's also 1 shot now, so if he does peek and try to do something, then I can low roll. Something like that. However, very, very fast acceleration, so I can get out of harm's way just in time. I don't have any HE here. That's going to be somewhat unfortunate, but I do hope that the MT is going to get onto it. Come on. Do something. Do something. Come on. Ah, he's reloading. Come on. Let's throw some balls. Throw some balls, other one. Okay. These are not great. I'm a 1-shot for pretty much everyone. One of them isn't a 1-shot, which is not great. And is he gonna YOLO now? Oh, he missed. He missed. Come on. Hit him. Come on, boy. You got the health. Come on! There you go. Can I do that? Yes, I can. Beautiful. Still has his hit points, which is very nice. Now the Eraser, 90 HP. Oh, there's the VK. That's the problem, I think. There we go. 200 HP still on him. Probably not going to turn. The MT is baiting him beautifully, or intentionally or not. But there we go. We're getting rid of the VK as well. It's almost not fair. Like, it feels like seal clubbing, and it kind of is, but yeah. Okay, reset the camo. And then let's have a look. Nope, he's not here. Oh, he is here, in fact. I'm going to hide here. Wait for the MT to hopefully do something about it. Because obviously I can't peek. If I peek, I die. Come on, mate. Come on. Oh, he left the cap. Hold this angle. The APCR. He's probably gonna push me or something. Lobster. A creative insult. But still, don't be rude to people. Oh, he got me. Here he is. Don't be rude to people. That's not very nice. Okay. 7. I don't have any HE, so otherwise I could do something. This is gonna be a very long video. This is gonna be very long. I think 5 tanks or something, and this has already taken 7 minutes. I'll be like, well, I told you. It's gonna take a while. Alright, now let's go around this side. I don't expect the MT to now be able to actually 1v1 the Eraser, so I'll have to be very careful here. Not like that. Tried to go for a snapshot, didn't work out. And he didn't pay attention at all. There we go, that's the VK-168. I got like insanely lucky in that game, but still, very nice display of this cute little thing. Now we go into the VK-3001D, which is very boring. By the way, that VK-28 game was an ace somehow. But yeah, let's have a look. With this vehicle, don't recommend going this way. So we're gonna do this one. And then the SP1C, then the Indian, then the RU. That way, how we're gonna do it. Yeah, that's about what you can expect with this vehicle. So, SP1C it is. So, here we go, with the SP1C. The only choice that you have if you want to go to the Leopard. You saw nothing. So, let's have a look. Now, T-Ray game, not that great. Problem with this vehicle is that it's pretty much too slow for how badly armored it is. So, this is definitely going to be the worst vehicle of the line, and the VK isn't any better. So, yeah, you're a bit out of luck in Tier 7 here on this line. However, it is going to get better. And hopefully you don't play the RU-251 like that. And if you don't want to play the RU like that, then stay tuned, obviously. So, yeah, now we're going to have to watch out. SU-130 PM might be camping down there. I'm going to have a peek at the SP1C, and this is generally how to play this vehicle. Take quick peeks after the enemy shot, when the enemy is looking away, so that you can get shots without getting shot. That is the important thing here. Now, obviously, you want to be a very advanced player for that. You want to know how to play the game. And you ideally also want to know how to aim. Because that way you can then cause a lot more damage. Do well with it. And that's the point. Now, if you're a beginner and you don't know reloads, maps, armor... I mean, armor is not that important, but I should definitely know what kind of alpha damage and reload the enemies have. Because if you know that, then you know how long they're going to be unavailable to attack you. So that is very, very useful to know, especially if you're playing a line like this one. So now, we're going to have a look. I don't know where the SU-130 is. He just shot that guy. Okay, so he is probably going to be on the camper hill. You know, sort of like mind triangulation there from where he could have been shot from. And that leads us to one of the most likely tank destroyer positions on this map, which is that bush over there. Another knowledge that you should definitely have, because the more you know, the better you're going to play with these kind of vehicles. So, also, spotting is very nice. I don't want to peek around there too much because the SU will show up. And he could technically still be there as well, but most likely not because of the angle. So, yeah. Now let's have a look. 500 assistant damage. Could be better. Am I talking too fast? I'm probably talking too fast, right? I can't help that. So, 2.6k damage. There we go. And the SU-130 is going for it. Speed boost. Activate that. Obviously, you can't pick adrenaline. Gotta go with a speed boost. It helps a bit. Because it's, as I said, a bit too slow for what it should be. However, if you do play it right, if you do play it from the sides, basically, then you can do relatively well with it, as you can see right here. And you can avoid getting shot at, and then you can do pretty decently with this vehicle. Unless you just... that happens. But anyway, SP1C, it's not great. But if you fail in the SP1C, you're also going to fail in the Leopard. Here we go into the Indien-Panzer, which is bad. So, yeah, basically ignore this. You probably shouldn't be playing this vehicle. However, it'd still be nice to know how to play against it in the rare occasion that you are going to actually encounter it. So, here we go. Now, obviously, you want to do on this map is you go the island and the middle ridge. What you don't want to do is you go city in a medium tank. If you go city in a medium tank, for me, that automatically shows that you're not a good player. And most of the time, it does prove to be correct as well. So it is very unfortunate that we have two people that aren't really... yeah. But as long as they push fast enough, they are going to sort of open up a second flank. And it can somewhat be fine. Now, obviously the object is not doing a very good job at staying alive. I'm going to try to disappear from here. I'm just going to take this game, no matter how well it goes, because the Indien-Panzer is just so irrelevant that it doesn't really matter whether you play it or not. So, let's try to get out of here. Object's probably going to die. And you can see as well, the problem with this vehicle is it's not really good at anything. It's like one of those tanks that doesn't suck at anything, but it's also not good at anything, so overall it kind of does suck. And that's the problem with this vehicle. Now, the third armor is really solid, which is kind of the only bonus of this vehicle, but then again, you can just play a Pershing and it's going to be much better. And if you want to have the M48 pattern, you actually have to go through the Pershing. With this line, you don't have to go through the Indien-Panzer. I absolutely do not recommend doing that either. So, you know, there's that. Okay, 4v4. They have sort of done alright. I'm going to go and go around here. M3O is peeking up a bit too far. Don't ideally want to do that. Yeah, I'm not doing really well here. I'm just going to blame it on the tank. You know? That's what you do. If you play bad, just blame it on the tank. No, don't do that. Very bad idea. Always try to do better if you can. Some tanks aren't going to work as well as others. Obviously, one example is this one. Hey, oh, nice. Alright, I'm going to die now. But, yeah, that's alright. Let's go to the tank that actually matters. So, here we go with the RU-251. I don't know if he's talking to me, but so then. Nice. Very cool. Appreciate that. I'm just a guy. Don't forget that. I'm just some guy. So, yeah, don't worship me or anything like that. It's definitely no point. No, you're not best. What is that? Well, that's offensive. Nah. Anyway. He doesn't know he's in a video, but if you see this, I am the best. Because I know that I am the best. Yeah, wait, hold on. Let me put up the stats of that account that I just stats padded. Anyway, that doesn't matter. So, RU-251, it's a great tank, definitely. And unlike the ISU-130, it is also somewhat relevant. So, I think it is definitely worth getting. Vulcan is doing something, but I am spotting him, so that is perfectly fine here. Now, let's have a look. Probably gonna take him down. them all being in the city isn't really that great for me because the IU is a free-range vehicle. It wants to run around all over the place, do damage. Obviously, with those 80 kilometers an hour top speed, you can do that, or than not. Also, it's very good for drifting, so if you're a artsy tanker, if you want to say it like that, then you're going to get some very nice drifts out of this, which is also very nice. No, you're not going to kill me. I have more DPM than you. Now, using Calibrate on this thing can certainly be helpful, but peaking a T-49 is never going to be helpful, so try to avoid T-49s like the plague. So, yeah, ideally, don't get into the church. So, yeah. Anyway, let's now have a look. T-49 is probably going to die to the T-49. Oh, he's got the 90 mil, so that's fine. So, okay. Take him out. SU-130 would be a nice target to take out. Obviously, got some high... Yeah, Borsig. Never mind. And 2 versus a lot more. Here we go. Okay, tank destroyers should be the priority here. I'm going to try to ram the Borsig out of existence. Miss. And now, get rid of him. He's going to reload before I reload twice. So that's not going to be great. And, yeah, Löwe is going to be a problem, I think. I have a shot at that. T-49 is going to push me. He does not have the big gun. He also seems to not shoot. Now he did. There we go. How do you win this? You don't, ideally. I'm going to have to HE the SU-130 and then try to disappear from here. Never mind. Or make him miss. Löwe should be on the way. And nope. Well, you still need a team. But that's not too bad. I'll take it. So here we go with the Leopard PTA, and let's see if we can get a good one. Now, unfortunately, we're on Dynasty's Pearl, which is an absolutely horrible map. Yeah, let's have a look. Especially, it's a horrible map for this vehicle, but it's just a horrible map overall, in my opinion. Anyway, what is the map that you think is the worst in Blitz? Put it in the comments. So, let's have a look what we can see here. Now, 6.9 second reload is very nice. It's also the same as the E50M, so basically, you get an E50M gun on the T9, which is very nice. However, you don't get any armor in this vehicle. You get some that can get some bounces here and there sometimes. However, obviously, this is never armor to rely on. This is always armor to be like, huh, how did that bounce? Pretty much. That's how the armor in this vehicle works. Okay, the enemies are in the city. That is already a good sign that they tend to be not that good. Because city players are worse than field players on average. That's my experience. That's how I've seen it so far. I have yet to see anything disprove it. So I will roll with it as a sort of pseudo fact at this point. Okay, Tiger 2 should be relatively easy to take care of. If I can aim, that is. Obviously, I have higher DPM than him, higher damage than him. I should be able to very easily kill this guy. But obviously, if there's any other teammates behind him, that might be somewhat troubling. And the Tiger 2 has stupid armor, so I have to use the heat for now. Okay. Can use the lower plate, but obviously the angles gonna be heat, so just to guarantee that penetration. Okay. Yeah, heat doesn't even go through. Tiger armor is just weird. But anyway, we have 4 guys over there, which leaves 1 more that is not spotted, which I think is going to be the Object 704, I believe. Yes, it is. Which is, yeah, this is something that's very important for this kind of vehicle. You have to know what the enemies are doing, where they are, what are they doing, where are they. Those kind of things are very important to know when you want to play a vehicle like this and you want to play it well. So, yeah, now we're behind the Tiger. It doesn't have any chance now at this point. It's also a pretty big tank, so it's going to be relatively easy to actually hit it. Okay, there is the object right there. He is in that lane there. I am going to go around here and see whether I can... Oh, no, he's not looking at me. Very nice. Obviously, always take a peek. Have a look. Turn now. He's not yet turning. He's now turning. Tracking shot. Yep. He can now. Keep looking. He doesn't have a repair kit. That's why you always use 2 repair kits, especially on a tank destroyer. Always use 2 repair kits. That is very, very important. And there we go. There's another one gone. I think you can sort of see how this vehicle works as you're not directly in the line of fire. You're always somewhere on the outskirts trying to cause damage from there. Because if you go and brawl with the Tiger, for example, you are going to take damage and it is going to end relatively badly for you. Go again. Back of the Conqueror. Now I can shoot HE here. That can be used. But for snapshots like this, I tend to keep the APCR on because if the snapshot misses, I'll lose on damage. So I'll only go for the HE shots when they're safe. Penetrate. Ideally, because otherwise you just lose out on damage. So now, here we go. WT shouldn't be that big of a problem. I can actually jump him, I think. Yeah, let's have a jump. Yee-hoo! That works. And now we're gonna have to try to avoid him. 3, 2, 1, HE, and... Oh, there we go. That's the Leo. Very nice. And now we go. However, very hard to play. It's a decent tank, but you gotta know how to play it. And now we arrive at the top with the Leopard 1, and this is a great vehicle if you know how to play it, and you can extract a lot of performance out of it if you know how to do that. It is very hard to play. Now, a bit of backstory in the tank itself. It was built this way without any armor because at the time, tank armor was essentially ineffective. So they decided, you know what, we don't need armor, we focus on the gun and the mobility instead. And that worked out beautifully. Now, obviously, by focusing on only the gun and the mobility, you don't have any armor, which means you don't have any room for any errors. However, if you can make the gun work, and you can, absolutely, and that in combination with the mobility, then this is going to be an absolute unbeatable beast if you are putting it into the right positions, playing them in the right way. Now, ideally, you don't want to be the one on the front line. You want to do what I'm doing here. Avoid the enemy while not avoiding damaging them. That is the ideal way. I don't know where the grill is. I'm taking a bit of a risk here to go around the back. However, I am going to think that that is going to be worth it. Need to now go to this position. Again, I'm behind the enemies pretty much. Behind the 50B. Unless he turns around, then I'm not behind him anymore. But, yeah. Let's have a look. Don't go forward. He is going to go forward. 22. Going to be a shot at that. And I think this is a perfect example of how to play the Leo here. Just from the side, shoot him. Ow. There's the grill. Found him. And see whether we can get the final shot. No, we cannot. Okay, I'm walking over here. Okay, grill. Now I got 1,000 hit points, and I do feel lucky. Just like that. Absolute amazing movement accuracy as well. 2.8k damage so far. There are 3 enemies left, which is nice. Go. Sit here. Try and spot him a bit, and try to also force him down off his high hill. There we go. More resistance damage. There we go. Some more. And he's not going to be able to do anything about that. Not going to peek him. Simply... Is anyone going to do something? I don't know. Alright, I'm going to peek him then. Why not? Hello. Bye. That is beautiful. And now the M6-yo. Well, 3 plus 3. Math. This is not only Blitz, but this is also math lessons. So don't forget to give it a like if you enjoyed it. And there is 3.7k damage together with 2,000 assistance, which is somewhat solid. And this is, I think, a perfect example of how to play this vehicle. From the sides, always stealing damage from the sides and working around the team. And sort of like an actual badger, just grabbing everything that you can that is in sight, while doing that skillfully and also in a way that you know how the enemies move, where they position themselves, all those kind of things. Overall, I would say this is an absolutely amazing line to grind if you have the skill for it. It's all about positioning with these vehicles. It's all about putting those guns into the correct positions. And how to find those correct positions? Well, it is all about situational awareness. Look at the minimap. Where are the enemies moving? Where are the enemies looking? Now, that is better on a PC, obviously, so I do recommend... There's more of a PC line at that point. Well, obviously, you can play the mobile very well, too. However, with the situational awareness that you need, this is going to perform better on PC than I think it will mobile, especially if you're a good player, but not very, very high tier. So, overall, it's a very good line, except the SP1C, which is a bit of a donkey. But if you have the skill for it, then it is a great line. And with that said, thank you very much for watching. The recording is an hour long. Damn. Anyway, special thanks to my members. Without the support, this wouldn't be possible, pretty much. And if you want to support the channel as well, hit the join button. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe. See you in the next one. Goodbye.